AI may actually also destroy humanity. It's a distinct possibility, I think. Still,
We are going to kill it if they destroy humanity.
I think. Did you guys see that statement
What?
Yes.
from Altman and the others sort of joining to try to make sure it stays safe?
Yeah.
It's got my attention. What did they say? A short statement signed by Sam Altman and of CEO of Google DeepMind, a handful of Microsoft execs. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority, alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war.
Well, right now, what it does is make us better. Maybe it's sneaking up on us. It's learning really fast.
Well, maybe that's why he's telling us to run, because it's sneaking up on us.
Well, it is learning. I mean, generative AI means it's taking in everything. I mean, when I was at NVIDIA, it was now more than a year ago, they had these pseudo dogs picking up Jello. And I remember Jensen said, you know what, some of these guys are starting to really get it. Some of them are a little slower. And I said, well, that's like my dog NVIDIA and my dog Marley. One's stupid and the other one's speaks. Well, no, it's not really like that. But, you know, he has dogs that are learning, but they're mechanical dogs. I find the whole thing a little bit existential. I think David might be onto something, which is that one day we'll wake
Hallo,
up
jeg har akkurat kommet på plass nå.
smarter than us, but maybe we contain them. I don't know.
We may not know when that day is.
Right.
And there are different arguments about what will happen if and when that day comes.
Well, it's like Buffett's joke. You know, the trick is to ask it how it would undo us and then turn it off before it can do that.
Right.
Wow. Waste not, want not. You know, they're anti-waste.
They are.
The digital factory?
Musk thinks that they'll recognize that we're an interesting thing in the universe and so want to keep us around.
Is what, fodder?
I'm not sure, but you know,
It's just like
I'm not sure. I
to
want
serve
lie
man.
on
That's
that one.
Wozniak's theory as well, is
Yeah.
that it
Really?
knows that it's sort of codependent.
Wow,
There's a
PGS er ikke noe nytt på PGS. Bull fortsatt. Landa bra kontrakt i dag.
David, all we do is we can write on top of their platform. And right now, we can write faster and better. And if you don't know code well, it helps you. Maybe it's just luring you in.
It's going to
To
be
its
a little
lair.
while until that
What do you think it's
moment
going to
where
go to
general
nuclear?
intelligence.
Do you think it's
where
going to nuclear?
it has-
How's it going to kill us? Is it going to seize our nuclear arsenal?
Yeah, of course. I mean, once it has more intelligence than we do, I can come up with a lot of different ways that it could kill us. Yes, you want me to just sit here and regale you with them? Sure, I'm happy to do that. Yes, it would be able to take over the nuclear codes in some fashion and/or make us believe that a nuclear attack
But
was
can
being
it
launched,
kill
even though it
bad guys
wasn't, which
first?
then would start.
Kongens.
Can we say,
It
listen,
conceivably could figure out a way to kill us all via a pandemic or a virus.
Sure.
It could turn off the electricity. That wouldn't be good, would it?
no, I would lose both shows.
Yeah, both Squawk and Mad would be dark.
But you know how to make tomatoes. You can farm.
I'm going to be able to, I'll outlive everybody. I also have a cave that I'm building. You know that? I found a place.
All right. Well, for now, let's talk about the stock market.
Yeah.
'cause,
Well, I
you
just
know,
think that the stock market is this. And what are we going to do? You want to talk about Abbott Labs?
Sure.
Fine.
Sure.
Fine. We'll
Tell
talk
me.
about Abbott
Well,
Labs.
Abbott and Medtronic, right?
Yeah, Medtronic upgrade even though they had a bad quarter. Abbott starts with a hold even though they had a good quarter.
Jeg leste det snakket om en søk om her over om 2 uker. Hva tenker du om dette prisen?
Initiation.
Jeg vet ikke, jeg har hørt det så mange ganger, så jeg aner ikke. Den rettssaken er make it or break it.
Return to office, settling into a hybrid future. I thought you'd like that.
I like
I
this
did
call.
see that.
It's
I
actually
did see
it's,
that-
it's,
that
it's
report.
their annual Alpha Y survey. They've done it
That's
3
good.
years, and this time companies are not. They don't think they are at peak in-office connectivity spend, which they say is positive for Dell and Cisco and HP.
I agree. Cisco would certainly tell you that. What's going on at the Farley building, you think, David?
See, I print out usually the first 2 or
Oh,
3
you
pages of
yeah.
these, Jim, and I find that that's sufficient.
The machines don't mind.
Instead
They're
of
happy with
printing out
Machines
gewinnst
not
du.
printing at all.
37 pages. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this last exhibit, 105. Next 3 years.
Well, while you're out there having fun with your kids, this is what I do.
The other good thing about that Morgan Stanley note is that
Fy
the
faen,
number of
tjena
firms who
peng.
think they're going to need to shrink their real estate
I know.
footprint is lower.
Right, which means it's not the end of the world for SL Green, maybe.
All true, except
Tornado
that
rhymes with
people
tornado.
are never coming back to the office 5 days a week. That's also clear.
Well, Friday is definitely a day off.
Friday's off, and then
Friday's
you can
off.
get people in on Mondays. Good
Well,
for you.
at our conference where you can get people off the desk and have mezcal, people actually talked a lot at the conference, and everyone pretty much admitted to me that Friday's a big joke, and that only idiots work. Because I said, I work Friday. Kind of lesson was, well, you're an idiot. But I don't know what to do.
You don't just work Friday. You work Friday at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, don't make me feel like more of a chump than I am.
Well, that's.
But when I say that they can't find evidence that people are as productive on Friday. That's what it really is.
Yeah.
That it just has to do with productivity.
Yeah, we're gonna get productivity numbers later in the week. We'll see if any of this is beginning to show up, either good or bad.
But you said something, Carl, at the beginning of the show, which is really, we're the fastest growing country on earth.
Now that the China rebound didn't happen,
it's amazing.
We're
the fastest growing country, and I think people should start recognizing that when Musk goes to China, it's not because he needs them; it's they need him.
By the way, I mean Netflix up very nicely. Tesla having a very strong day.
Well, the Chinese
so far. Is that really? I mean, Meta's also up. You are seeing mega cap tech.
How about
taking its.
Gjorde noen bra trades nå på Wall Street. Jeg har gitt opp Nasdaq, for Nasdaq lever sin helt egen verden.
Obviously been following that company closely for quite some time.
Well, I mean,
Mr. Farley's
they made peace. Although I would tell you, I think it's Trojan horse.
Well, why don't you explain to people what you're talking about?
I was going to. It's
just saying. Tell us. You can't say
no
peace.
one's going to get. No, I'm keeping this from everyone.
Ute igjen.
Well, I have no desire to keep them from everyone. They have a partnership with Tesla to use their chargers.
Ford and Tesla have a partnership, correct?
And that I say it's Trojan horse because I think that Farley, who's going to do $6 billion, I think, in free cash flow, not $2 billion like the street. Jeffries would agree with me, I think. It has basically said, listen, we'll use your chargers, but he's in the F-150, and he doesn't believe in Tesla's truck.
No, he's not a believer in the Cybertruck.
No.
He thinks it's a niche product, right?
Yes. Yeah. If not a boutique. They'll use words like boutique. It's not usually, Tesla, there's a piece out today about Tesla doesn't have enough models.
You mean Tony's piece?
Yeah.
Bernstein still thinks that the price cuts they're not spurring demand. And the volume targets are at risk. He's been underperformed for forever.
Well, true. I don't know, I've laid off being mean to him because I feel bad. I am. I have remorse. He's a really nice person.
There are some upside target moves on CRM. Wells goes to 250. Microsoft, Dan Ives goes to 375 now, Jim.
Right. Well, look, CRM brought Salesforce has. When I asked Mark Benioff, my friend.
Yes, he is your friend.
About he says Einstein had 1 trillion different predictions last week, of which a wag that I spoke to said, how many are right? Trillion, though, is a lot. It's a lot of predictions.
It's a lot of predictions.
It's a massive.
Targevinst nå. Hva tror
How
du?
about Einstein versus Watson?
Ute.
Man, that was a 4-0. That was a 4-0 series.
Nvidia is $1 trillion. Tesla was once $1 trillion market cap.
Yeah.
Actually talking about.
Lost it.
Right.
Well,
Halla, det går bra. Gjør noen fine trades her nå.
It can happen. It does happen.
Slip
it
back.
can happen. Wow, look at Salesforce. Yeah, it can. It can.
Do you know that he went?
$650 billion is not bad.
Do you know Jensen went to the town that he's from and he's speaking Taiwanese?
I saw pictures of him at the night market people were taking.
Isn't he? He's a regular person.
Yeah.
He's an incredibly humble, regular person. People don't know how to deal with the fact that his humility is such that you're taken back by it. And he says, "Look, we have a lot of orders," and then you look and it's like he's just got a huge number of orders. I had questioned on the day that he reported. I'd like to see real evidence of orders. And then he gives the Computex speech, and the orders are just so real that he can't meet demand. He's an exceptional man, and we don't talk about him as an exceptional man because we've had these big figures over time. And the reason why I think we don't talk about him is he's just completely non-promotional. I had dinner with him at Saga, which is a great restaurant downtown. Ben Stoto, my research writer, lives in the building. And Saga got a Michelin star that night. And we suspended all talk about NVIDIA and just talked about cooking and how great it was that they got the star. And how can he be so humble? He's just humble.
Well, you've talked about him plenty.
Can you
What? Just saying.
throw me a bone here? Just,
The bone is that you got this one right.
no, according
right.
to some sources, I hated it the whole way up.
Well, that's not true.
No, I mean, look, I just think that, look, why am I an apostle, okay? Because it's $1 trillion, and unlike some of the other $1 trillion companies, there may be numbers here. Remember, he raised the quarter by $4 billion, the estimate. I've never seen a $4 billion increase in estimate. That's a nice estimate boost.
That is a significant estimate.
And then when you drill down, I think he's being conservative. Because a lot of companies that you thought weren't going to use his products are aggressive users. And I think that the one thing I thought was amazing was that the gaming companies don't even seem to be able to realize what he's going to do for them. Like what Take-Two did give you a 2-year projection for the first time. I think Take-Two could be AI Take-Two and stock would be at 200.
Yeah, interesting takes over the weekend that actually thank you gamers and crypto for allowing NVIDIA to get to this point.
I thought that was fabulous, and a lot of it, he was hated because of Ethereum. It wasn't his fault. They found out how good his cards were. I mean, it's so interesting that I first heard of it from Audi, from the head of Audi North America, which was more than 10 years ago, where he just said, the company to watch is...
Jeg er veldig usikker her nede nå. Jeg har shorta, tatt gevinst, og så gikk jeg long her nå. Og nå vurderer jeg så går longen her nede. Men det kan jo droppe fort. Jeg har gitt opp Nasdaq. Nasdaq kan jeg ikke trade med så lite volum. Kjøpte nå. Kjøpte. Sånn liten en. Se om jeg får tatt går ut fort hvis den ikke går riktig der.
How about farm machinery?
No, talk a little oil and gas. I always like.
Okay, we are. There's a glut of enormous proportions of everything, including oil, and the fact that oil is where
How did that
it is.
happen?
Because the Russians are frantically pumping because they may be losing the war. We're going to be at 14 million, and we're exporting. Thank you, Rusty Brazil.
14 million is a new record, by the way.
Right, we're exporting a huge amount. We're importing from Canada. We're exporting a lot because it's light sweet crude. We don't have enough refining capacity. And we're killing the price.
Nå er det så ta nye short.
Killing the price. By the way, natural gas, there's a lot of coal. They're still using coal there's still coal, terrible.
Yes.
Coal
Well, and
plants.
even as we decommission here, of course, when you talk about climate change, I mean, the Chinese are building new coal plants.
Right. What,
Every week.
Oljeprisen.
Put up a Starbucks.
Hva tenker du om oljeprisen?
But
Pengene skal opp, men ikke nå på sommeren. Det er så... Nå på sommeren så er det helt dødt.
The demand from Europe didn't come, and Freeport, the natural gas, liquefied natural gas is not working, and it's coming back.
Well, no, Freeport's back online.
It's coming
now.
back.
Yeah,
It's coming back.
Freeport's
But look at
online,
that.
but
I mean,
it
they're
took a
not
long
pumping.
time for-
They don't have the big orders.
No.
And China
What's
is not
wrong with
using
that?
this stuff.
Most people look at that and go, great.
Well, Powell's not looking at it.
my-
He's the only guy
my-
that matters. Nestor thinks it's an inverse. Right? It's inverse nat gas.
Why would that lead to be saying, okay, yeah, that's,
Because, David, that's not the way it works.
got it. That's
Okay.
not the way it works.
Well, sort of one thread from that is travel names, Jim. TSA screened how many passengers over the weekend? Well, 300,000 more than we did.
Right, and then you still have we're running out of plays in that, and people still want to go back to they want to go to the Cruise Royal Caribbean.
Yeah,
He's
CCL, one of the leaders this morning.
I don't trust the airlines.
3-month high on that.
Chief Fun Officer of Carnival.
Check. And the Nasdaq's up over 1%, in part driven by Nvidia, but also you got Apple.
But look at
Meta.
Alphabet. Look at
I
Alphabet.
know,
Google's down.
You got Google down. But
Because
you got
people
Tesla
understand the
sharply,
A100 is not as
Netflix up
good.
Sharply.
Well, I just find that everything else is just you try to get
Det er jo
into
så jævla chop her nå,
you
vet
have a thesis, but it's not tech, and it just goes down. Like there was a recommendation of one of my worst picks, which is J&J, because of the talc lawsuit. It was a recommendation to buy, and I figured, okay, we're gonna get some little relief. It's gonna be up $1. No, it's down.
Well, I know you noticed the Constellation upgrade over at MKM.
Well, they actually have Nielsen data, which shows that.
Jeg vurderer å ta den gevinsten her nå, for den er så jævla tung her.
And that's been very good.
That's
Modelo
highs for the year.
but
Yeah,
that's
tar den
not because
ute.
of the problems of Bud Light.
There was some insider selling
Bud
there
Light.
recently, right?
Well, the
Constellation.
Sands family continues
Yeah,
to sell.
they
But then
keep selling.
once they finish,
Jeg tror det skal videre opp her nå.
they're not in the market now.
Right.
But I mean, this is a Bud Light it's share
play
taking.
on the other side of the
Share
plate,
taking.
that they
That's what
take
it
a
is.
share from the
I mean, I'm not going to say that suddenly everyone,
Bud Light fiasco.
but also the summer months it tends to do well, and Bill Newland's doing a good job. And the Nielsen, like I said, the Nielsen data came out 2 weeks ago. It was really pro.
Kjøpte på nytt på samme kurs. Venter på en sånn liten pop-up.
Classic action here with the Nasdaq up 1%, but the Dow negative. S&P highs for the year, going back to August or so. As we go to break, check bonds as well. We did get some relief in some of those T-bill yields this morning. June 1 now yielding about 5.1 as this debt ceiling proposal starts to work its way into the whips. We'll watch for a vote sometime this week. Be right back.
Kom igjen da.
The Bond Report is brought to you by PIMCO, a global leader in active fixed income.
Global Active
With
Income.
Allegra, allergies don't hold us
You-
back. Allegra starts
Ja, gjeldstaket er vel på onsdag. I morgen det blir final møte på det.
It won't make us drowsy. Allegra gives you the fastest, non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief so you can live your greatness.
The first time you made a sale online with GoDaddy was also the first time you heard of a town named Dinosaur, Colorado.
Just got an order from Dinosaur, Colorado.
Der får jeg pop-upen min.
Powerful website for
There.
with a partner that always puts you first. Start for free at GoDaddy.com.
Ta gevinster nå til øyeblikk.
Usually get the media coverage the stock market does. In fact, most people don't find them all that exciting. But if you're looking for the potential for
Kom igjen.
consistent income
Få pop-up
that's
med nå.
federally tax-free, now is an excellent time to consider municipal bonds from Henyon & Wall.
Tok gevinst.
If you have at least $10,000 to invest, call and talk with one of our bond specialists at
Det er litt lettere for meg å trade på litt mer volum, sånn som det er nå.
We'll send you our exclusive bond.
Jeg har ikke tradet på over en uke på den der drittvolumet.
Be an important part of your portfolio. Henyon & Walsh is specialized in fixed income and growth solutions for 30 years and offers high-quality municipal bonds
Kjøpte på nytt.
across the country.
Den kan pike opp her
They
nå.
provide the potential for regular income, are federally
Kjøpte på
tax-free,
nytt.
and have historically low risk. Call today to request your free bond guide. 1-800-376-4376. That's 1-800-376-4376.
When everything hurts, you need relief that's deeper than ice.
Ta gevinst ute.
You need Tidal, the cryotherapy.
Jeg klarer ikke vise dere alle. Jeg klarer ikke gå bort dit og dit og dit og dit og dit hele tiden. Så jeg bare sier hva jeg gjør for noe.
was developed to help world-class
Nå er jeg longa hele veien her.
Tidal cryotherapy spray can alleviate muscle pain, joint pain, even back pain.
I can still be active and yet not feel aches and pains when I'm sitting there for long hours.
Tidal cryotherapy, available at these fine retailers.
Hvor dere har sett en short.
We empower those who act. Those who see the correlation between upswings and downswings. Those who manage risk by meeting each obstacle with a
PCC kan gå mye mer.
strategy. A measured approach. The right tools. Driving accuracy.
Shorta nettopp.
CME Group, where risk meets opportunity.
Shorta akkurat.
My dream is to talk to people, real people, about stocks. We created a club to do it.
Join Jim Cramer and the CNBC Investing Club. Scan this code or go to
Ta
cnbc.com/investing
gevinst
club.
ute.
Exclusive
Bra
offer
trade.
ends soon.
Ferdig. Sånn.
It's been a while since we've talked about regional bank lending stress. A piece in the FT this morning that the KRE has had 2 consecutive weeks of gains. First time since February. They argue, Jim, that it's a relative bargain for some.
Yeah, I still think that you're going to see. They have to
Vurderer å gå long,
pay
faktisk.
more for FDIC coverage, and I think that the
Longa nå. Longa nå. Longa nå. Her er pengene.
David would like that.
Er det null?
Although others argue that was already in place. We'll see. It's something to watch. There's the KRE this morning with the Dow down 65 and S&P 4220. Don't go away.
Jeg taper når jeg viser dere. Her er pengene nå. Ta gevinst ute. Nå har jeg på meg gjort penger her. Den kan gå videre oppover nå. Jeg kjører bare korte scalps, hvis du lurer på hvorfor faen jeg kjører så korte transaksjoner. Kjøper på ny topp. Jeg tror den kan dra med seg videre oppover. Kom igjen da. Madde.
Espresso system.
Der ja. Er det penger? Må jeg ikke penger.
Bonds, rain or shine. In the world's largest electronic marketplace for credit, over 2,000 trading firms find deeper liquidity and better pricing. Come rain or come shine. Market access.
Market
Starting a new chapter can be the most thrilling thing in the world. There's an abundance of reasons to get started. How far we take an idea is a question of willpower.
Nå er jeg penger igjen.
Because progress is a matter of character.
Jeg tror jeg skal bryte over varma her nå. Sitter på selg-knappen.
CNBC. Live ambitiously.
Welcome to the closing bell. Let's get into the market right now.
Breaking news, market moves. Scott Wapner from the NYSE. Closing bell weekdays 3 Eastern, CNBC.
Shopping for Father's Day is hard.
Actually, it's easy.
You never know what to get him.
Just give me steak.
It has to be perfect.
Yep. Dads want steak.
Right now, Omaha Steaks is offering Dad's favorite gift package that includes 4 of our exquisite bacon-wrapped filet mignons, 4 air-chilled boneless chicken breasts,
Der ja.
4
Nå går den
boneless
opp.
pork chops,
Ta
jumbo
ute, tok
franks,
gevinst, ferdig.
dessert, and more. All for just $99.99. That's 61% off. Order now to include 8 burgers free.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
False or misleading search results can negatively impact your life. A bad online reputation can put you
Kan dra på videre, vet
at
du.
risk of losing job
Kjøre
opportunities
kortstunt
or new
igjen.
customers. Reputation Defender helps clean up your search results, wiping away negative first
Her er
impressions,
penger allerede.
allowing truthful, positive content.
Ta gevinst
Rise to
ute.
the top. Don't you deserve to have more control over how you're represented online?
Pristet kjører en liten short her nå også. Her har han litt grann også.
8555.
Hvis ikke han bryter videre oppover.
It's time for Jim and stop trading.
Well, lost in all of the market is that crypto's been going up, and there's a great piece today by Atlantic Equities
Shorta,
saying
akkurat her.
that Coinbase is the best way to play it, upgrade to overweight, and it's
Er det penger?
try to regain custody assets. I mean,
Er det
I'm
penger?
very skeptical, but this
Er
is a
det-
very positive piece about Coinbase, and I have to admit that they were supposed to be challenged by the SEC, and it looks like they are okay. Really amazing.
Yeah, $70 target.
Yes.
Interesting.
Det er bra penger.
What are you going to tackle
Ta
tonight?
gevinst
Okay,
ute.
I've got 2 AI plays. I've got Marvell, which had an incredibly bullish AI
Lord,
conference
Jim.
call last week, up 40%, David. And then
Wow.
Enrique Loris, who I
Okay.
think is going to want to talk AI and the evolution.
Da bare venter jeg litt, for nå er det fugl eller fisk. Jeg har opp 5% på SPT-en min, burde jeg prøvd å kjøpe en lavere. 5% er dritbra.
It's what works, and I think we all feel challenged in our business to say, is this going to be
Det kan være riktig også å shorte videre her, altså, men jeg er jævlig usikker.
last week who say, you know, please don't
Det er liksom fugl eller fisk akkurat her nå.
And then I get the Jensen stuff, Jensen Wong.
It's completely
Please
different.
don't be a part of the AI.
Yeah, it's completely different. Right? It's a seminal
agree.
change.
It has real
There's
orders.
nothing to do with a financial.
Jeg shorta på nytt nå. Den er jævla skummel.
Wall Street that enriched a handful of people.
Jeg likte ikke den helt, den jeg gjorde nå. Men den får gå.
For even companies that we thought were going to be wiped out, like Advertise.
This is a sea change.
I'd like to be more skeptical. You know, his like we're all going to die thing, like Billy and Predator.
That's
it's
a
like,
longer term story.
Longer term.
Yeah.
It's longer term. I mean, we are all going to die, by the way. That is still the news.
But our great grandkids, they
Maybe even our kids won't. I don't know.
No.
Singularity. Gonna be
kid, no, our kids are still going to be helped by it. It's not done luring us.
You'll live on in the cloud no matter what. You'll just be there.
We have to go.
I'll see you tonight. Mad Money, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We covered a lot just
Du
now.
kan like gjerne gå opp.
More on Nvidia's valuation surpassing $1 trillion for the first time. Back in a moment.
How's the chicken?
Oh, the prawns are delicious.
Oh, I have a shellfish allergy.
One prawn, very good.
Did I say chicken wrong?
Tired of people not listening to what you want?
It's truffle season.
That's okay.
Never enough truffles.
Ta gevinst ute.
It's a lot.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Jeg vil ikke være med på noe.
It's like a priceless piece of art. Enjoy.
Or when they
Gå
sell
long igjen her
what
nå.
they want. Yeah. The more we understand you, the better we can help
Gikk
you.
long.
That's what US Bank is for.
Er det penger? Er det null? Er det penger? Ta gevinst ute.
Power E-Trade's easy-to-use tools like dynamic
Ok, når jeg scalpa sin åpning, så jeg scalpa
and its customizable scams with social sentiment help you find
22 ganger.
opportunities in the market.
Nå må jeg gi meg mens leken er god. Nå begynner volumet å tørke ut.
Easy-to-use tools, Power eTrade makes complex trading easier. React to fast-moving markets with dynamic charting and a futures ladder that lets you place, flatten, or reverse orders so you won't miss an opportunity. eTrade from Morgan Stanley.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean, not spreadsheets. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Is this how you're hoping to retire? Well, hope isn't a good retirement strategy. You've worked for a comfortable retirement for years.
Visst å sette
Now
en
you
short
need to plan
akkurat
for
der.
retirement income. Learn ways to avoid common mistakes, like being too conservative or not setting retirement goals. Have someone on your side to keep you on track.
Call for Fisher's Comfortable Retirement Kit with the help you need to make your retirement a
Akkurat
success,
her.
including the Investor's Guide to a
gjorde
Comfortable
han nå.
Retirement, 13 retirement blunders to avoid, and maximize your Social Security. Call 1-800-759-4477.
Fisher tailors a plan to keep you
Så-
on track for a retirement you want. And
Hvis
as
jeg
a
går videre opp, så dekker jeg meg.
fiduciary, we do better when our clients do better.
Call now for your Comfortable Retirement Kit. Call 1-800-759-4477.
If your retirement portfolio is $500,000 or more, call us today. You don't have it coming to you unless you plan for it.
Call 1-800-759-4477.
Narrow is no good. That's why I wear new wide-fit, hands-free Skechers slip-ins. You just step in and go with no bending down. They even go on easy sitting because wider is better. Even I could have made that. Try new wide-fit Skechers slip-ins. Your next best investment starts with CNBC Pro, the ultimate investing playbook. Scan this code or go to cnbc.com/pro. Exclusive offer ends soon.
Hallo. Hallo.
Good Tuesday morning and welcome to another hour of Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber, live as always for you from Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Take a look at stocks, S&P 500, highs of the year here, up about a third of 1%, continues to push higher after the rally we got on Friday. The NASDAQ again leads the charge, those tech-specific AI stocks doing a lot of the market's work here, up 0.6%, and you can see the weakness in broader stocks with the Dow down again, although kind of flattish, 9 points or so. 30 minutes here into the trading session. Here are three big movers we're watching right now. Shares of NVIDIA hitting new all-time highs, and its market cap topping $1 trillion for the first time ever. It's also the first time a U.S. chip maker has joined that exclusive $1 trillion club. More on this in the AI arms race straight ahead. Tesla, one of the top gainers in the S&P right now, as well as CEO Elon Musk, heads to China for the first time in 3 years. We've got the latest from Beijing this hour. And Netflix shares are also pushing higher. The stock's now up 17% this month, and its market cap, once again, topping Disney.
Getting some data this morning out of Conference Board. Let's get to Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
Yes, good morning, Carl. Conference Board consumer confidence for the month of May. Headline number expected to be up at 99.0. Comes in much better. 102.3, 102.3, and that jumps over what now is a revised, big revision.
Den tredje var fin, da.
Up to 103.7, and what's notable about that is with that revision, it now makes the current better than expected read at 102.3.
Jeg kan jo faen ikke trade. Alle må ringe meg mens jeg trader. Hallo, må gå kjapt, jeg driver trader. Jeg ringer opp om 10 minutter, ok? Fikser det. Ha. Den var bra trade, den der også. Den var jævla bra trade. Jævla bra trade. Jævla bra trade. Ute. Ha! Den satt, ass. Fy faen.
Which makes 71.5 the lightest read since February, as of course
Jævla bra trade.
The press side. Interest rates have been pretty much across the curve lower. Debt deal hasn't been passed, but there is a deal. We're about in the middle of the range on a 10-year. We've been as high as 377, as low as 370. We hover right about in the middle at 373.5.
Kan falle videre.
Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. Rick Santelli with the consumer confidence data, better on the headline, worse on present situations. Guys, today's all about digesting the deal that we
Nå det jævla choppy. Jeg liker ikke det volumet som nå.
what will happen in Congress, basically. It's a tight margin for error, a tight window here until the June 5th now ex-date that the Treasury has set. That's next
Fuck it,
Monday.
jeg shorta med.
But all the research and all the commentary has to do with how this is going to affect the economy, right? This new deal. So there's been some preliminary looks at it. And the good news, at least for markets, is it appears market-friendly from that perspective of it could hurt the economy a lot worse. 2011 saw a little bit more austerity,
Whoa.
for instance. I'm looking at the Goldman note, for instance. Jan Hatzius writing, the spending deal looks
Yes,
likely to
ute.
reduce spending by 0.1 to 0.2%
Den så jeg
of GDP
kjapt, faktisk.
year over year in 2024 and 2025, compared with the baseline in which funding grows
Kjøpte.
with inflation. JP Morgan also says that despite the fact that we've got a lot of legislative hurdles and not a lot of time, if it does get signed into law, the implied spending reduction does not look like a game changer for the macro outlook. So that should be good news for the market.
gevinst.
That could have been worse in terms of cutting spending and weighing on the economy.
Yeah, for example,
Ute.
Jan is looking
Ut.
at 4/10
Du
GDP
skal jeg bare skalte, da.
from the credit crunch
Nå
and
gjør jeg meg.
regional bank stress. So this would
Ja, opp faktisk 35%.
forecast because of the debt ceiling itself.
Because it's a flatline spending, basically, from 23 to 24, and then a 1% increase to 25. The bigger issue, and I think, we've been covering the market reaction, is sure, maybe a little bit of a relief rally, but
Så
the
shorter
equity
mer nå,
market
altså.
didn't really price in any kind of disaster happening, or didn't get
Shorter
so
nå.
worried about it. So it's hard to price in relief now. I think the next steps that the market are looking at is, and we've talked about this before, the massive issuance of Treasury bills now needed for the Treasury to refill its cash balance is like
Å, fy faen, han har fine trenere, da.
billion. It's the lowest it's been in a
Kødder
while.
du, Jones? Traff du gulfugl?
Asked a couple of questions about it. I was starting to hear about it
Jones!
as well.
Ny bånd, eller?
Push out other liquidity. Is it a real
Come
concern?
on, Jones,
or is it just something
motherfucker.
we're going to talk about and then we're going to be like, oh, that really actually.
Ikke ha grådig.
Depends if it slips
Ok, ta.
out reserves from the banking system, right? Because then you've really got a liquidity suck. And Bank
Okay.
of America says it would be equivalent to a 25 basis
Okay.
point increase.
Den er bra.
Remember, you always have to think in terms of how
Faen,
much
så
it
bra.
tightens the economy and the markets. And this is a market that's fed off
Kan falle
liquidity,
videre.
so it could be a real thing.
Fuck Nasdaq!
Don't know. It
Bare så det er
depends on
sagt.
what kind of buyers step in for all this debt that the Treasury is going to issue, right? But that is a real thing, and it's happening, I think, at a time where liquidity is already being
Handler på
sucked out.
Wall Street 300. Mye bedre likviditet, synes jeg. Jeg har studert den litt nå. Svinger bedre. Følger markedet, følger makronyhetene. Nasdaq går bare opp på short squeeze og rentefrykt og alt mulig drit.
The sucking out of liquidity as a result of massive issuance could be worth 25 basis points. We're still dealing with
Fristes å longe en sånn liten stjert her nå.
from many of the regional banks and whether that is going to be
Men det kan jo bryte til det enda det lå her nå, faktisk.
And you're still telling me we're going to actually get another 25 basis points?
Well, the argument is that the data's run warm. The stress that we're getting from the banks arguably
Har litt
is
støtte
already
her
happening
nede.
anyway. It has been for a while. You got this package. If it passes, why wouldn't they hike and
Well,
shift?
and we got some good news on Friday from the
jeg
Fed
kjøpte her
data.
nå.
It looks like loans rose again. Commercial bank lending rose 10.4
Faen, nå
billion.
lagget han. Jeg fikk jo alt for dårlig inngang.
Deposits also rose across the banking system,
Ja.
30 billion during that same period. So yes, we're still expecting some sort of squeeze.
Det var dårlig,
but
det.
it's
Jeg
not
trykka
all- it's not
egentlig her.
that, worst case scenario, at least not yet.
The numbers are not bearing that concern out.
They're not. And so that's going in one direction, and the data's moved in the other direction. It's come in strong, and the inflation, the PCE numbers on Friday went in not the way the Fed wanted it to go. We still got an inflation report, we've still got a jobs report, but David, it's also the Fed speak. We had Waller on the tape, the Fed governor, who's been pretty out front on this hiking cycle, I would say, coming out and saying, so he doesn't expect the new data coming in to tell us that we're necessarily at a
Nå driver PC-en min og fusker igjen. Lagger.
Although, look at energy. Look at WTI, look at natural gas. They don't care about that, I guess.
Because it's come down.
Yeah, a lot.
It's come down a lot.
Trying to hold 70 this morning.
Because-
First things first, though, we got to get this package past the hill, and for that, we'll turn to an expert whip. That is Kayla Tausche. Hey, Kayla.
Hey, Carl, good morning. President Biden and Speaker McCarthy now fully in sell mode. They're trying to shore up the 218 votes needed to pass the Fiscal Responsibility Act, as it's being called. And first, it will be taken up in the House. Each party was briefed over the weekend. The House Rules Committee is set to advance the bill today, though two Republicans have said definitively that they would vote no, leading to questions about how McCarthy would respond and whether he would still move it forward. If he would, the House would then vote after that, and the Senate would begin its proceedings after that. But some members in the Senate have been vowing to slow walk it, and that could delay passage to over the weekend right before that Monday deadline. Asked about the chorus of criticism, the president said any skeptics should talk to him directly, and he said he's optimistic about the deal's prospects.
I feel very good about it. I've spoken to a number of the members. I spoke to McConnell. I spoke to a whole bunch of people, and it feels good.
Mitch McConnell, the top Senate Republican, has vowed to get his colleagues to support anything that can pass the House. House Republican leadership has pledged 150 votes, with Democrats expected to provide around 70 votes. But members today, as they could shift their views, we've already seen some moderates, Twitter guys who have said, you know what, I'm not going to support this. But we know the White House and several cabinet members are working the phones behind the scenes, dozens of calls
Fy faen, det var fin gevinst.
Every single day. So we will see whether that campaign can move any hearts and minds, and we'll find out a little bit more later on this week.
I know they're both spinning it as a win, but the White
Da
House and
gevinst.
the Republicans.
Sånn, ute. Det gjør meg, PC-en min begynner å fucke. Da blir jeg bare så inn I gærnen. Jeg blir så gal når PC-en min henger seg. Dere vet hvordan det blir. Kult, nå vi I gang igjen. Jeg på etterpå, før close. Sånn 9-tida, da begynner folk å få hetta og skal trade. Og da kommer jeg til å handle Wall Street, Rolling Cash. Der det mye mer volum, og der kan jeg gjøre bra trades. Nasdaq venter jeg med. Alt for dårlig, alt for choppy, ikke noe kult. Så nå har jeg faktisk gjort nesten, ja, litt over 35%. Nå vi på igjen, som faen. Snakkes etterpå. Jeg skal trade hver dag. Nå har jeg funnet Wall Street Rolling Cash. Den bra likviditet. Jeg kan kun scalpe. Husk, jeg en scalper. Jeg en daytrader. Jeg kan ikke sitte og så... Sånn som jeg har satt I hele forrige uke. Jeg kan ikke sitte sånn. Så nå har vi gjort masse trades her. Gjort det bra. Og gå ut inn. Det funker fint. Candlesticksene funker. Alt funker. Nasdaq ligger unna. La oss snakkes etterpå. Skal vi trade som faen her hele gjengen. King Kong på etterpå. Ha det.